We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo.
Since Donald Trump reclaimed the White House
Let
in
him go
January
wild on
2025,
health.
his administration has wasted no time turning campaign promises into action, particularly when it comes to illegal immigration. One of the most visible signs of this aggressive stance is the surge in mass deportation flights taking off across the United States. From Texas to California, planes loaded with undocumented immigrants, many identified as criminal aliens, are heading back to their countries of origin or third-party nations willing to accept them. As of early March 2025, the operation is in full swing and it's sparking both applause and outrage nationwide. The numbers tell part of the story. In Trump's first month in office, the Department of Homeland Security reported deporting 37,660 individuals, a figure touted as a strong start by administration officials. While this falls short of the Biden administration's monthly average of 57,000 removals in its final year, insiders say the pace is accelerating. ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, has been directed to prioritize criminals, with border czar Tom Homan stressing that the focus is on criminal illegal migrants and national security threats. Recent operations in Texas highlight this mission. On February 26, a sting in Houston nabbed an MS-13 gang member accused of murder, one of nearly 120 apprehended in a single sweep. The next day, another 90 were detained in the same city, including several child sexual predators.
Been happening here regularly since June. But locals say in the lead up from Election Day,
it's particularly those who have a criminal record or
until now, the overall mood has changed.
or ties to drug cartels.
These efforts aren't limited to Texas. The U.S. Coast Guard has expanded its role, assisting with deportation flights from California and Texas, ferrying migrants to staging points for international removal. On February 10, 2 Venezuelan planes left El Paso with nearly 200 deportees, while military aircraft, including Air Force C-17S, have been spotted transporting others. A notable flight on February 5 carried 104 Indian nationals from Texas to Amritsar, prompting complaints from Indian officials about shackling during the journey. Meanwhile, the administration has turned to unconventional destinations like Guantanamo Bay, where plans are underway to house up to 30,000 deportees before their final exit, and Central American countries like Panama and Costa Rica, which have reluctantly agreed to act as bridge nations for migrants from Asia and Africa. Trump's strategy hinges on both logistics and diplomacy. To ramp up deportations, the administration has leaned on military support and pressured foreign leaders with threats of tariffs and sanctions. Colombia, for instance, initially resisted accepting deportation flights, but caved after Trump threatened 25% tariffs on its goods. Panama's agreement came after a visit from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, amid tensions over the Panama Canal. Critics argue this strong-arming of smaller nations is a new low, with NBC News reporting that policy experts see it as exploiting weaker countries to offload America's immigration challenges. Still, the White House insists it's a necessary step to clear out an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants, a cornerstone of Trump's America First agenda.
Reportedly being marked for deportation. According to
Hoy esto se convierte en una realidad de regresar los primeros 10%.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been a key ally in this push. Under Operation Lone Star, the state has arrested over 50,000 individuals and detained more than 500,000 illegal immigrants since its inception. With the National Guard stationed along the border and a legal battle to uphold a state deportation law, Texas is a testing ground for the broader crackdown. Yet, the operation isn't without hiccups. ICA faces logistical bottlenecks, limited detention beds, a stagnant number of officers, and a finite fleet of planes. Some arrested migrants, like 461 reported by NBC News, have been released back into the U.S. on monitoring programs due to space constraints and court orders. Trump, reportedly angry at the slower-than-expected pace, axed ICE's acting director Caleb Vitello in February, replacing him with Madison Sheehan, a Louisiana official tied to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. The shakeup signals impatience at the top, with daily arrest targets set at 1,500, though current numbers hover lower. Public reaction is deeply divided. A new NPR/Ipsos poll shows growing support for immigration restrictions, with many Republicans backing mass deportations as a response to what they call an invasion at the southern border. Critics, including Pope Francis, who warned the plan will end badly, decry the human cost. Immigration advocates point to cases like Joe C., a Texas man detained despite no criminal record, as evidence of overreach. In Panama, deportees from Asia and Africa languish in hotels, cut off from the internet and pleading for help, per BBC reports.
Arguing the president with a stroke of a pen.
People heading to work, also
22 states sued, and refugee admissions into
heading to Mexico,
to babies born on U.S. soil, to undocumented.
as a Tucson base
Trump signed an executive action to overturn a century-old
on immigration in the country right now, but wants every
As flights continue to board, the Trump administration shows no signs of slowing down. With billions sought from Congress to fund the operation and plans for processing camps floated by allies like Eric Prince, the crackdown is reshaping America's immigration landscape. Whether it delivers on its promise or buckles under its own ambition remains to be seen. But for now, the skies over Texas and beyond are busy with the sound of departure.
In the deportees' shoes. She says she understands the pressure around everyone to remember new policies have a human impact.
Parents, but officials of undocumented immigrants.
Completa de la reunificación amorosa de la familia.
Todos los organismos, está la Cruz Roja Internacional, la Cruz Roja de Venezuela presente, ellos van a estar. Los organismos, está la Cruz Roja Internacional, la Cruz Roja de Venezuela presente, ellos van a... Hoy esto se convierte en una realidad de
completa de la reunificación amorosa de la familia.
Vaya y seguramente hará otros viajes para seguir trayendo venezolanos. Que tenga ya y a familias enteras.